The other thing I thought was really cool, I was pretty proud of, was the invader hits. Basically, in Logic, I just created different chords of, just kind of like an electric piano. So every time you hit an invader, it plays that chord. And actually, there's 8 of them. So there's kind of a little variation, as you see in this table. Every time you hit an invader, it'll basically choose one based on this kind of probability kind of table. And, there's all these hits right here that are loaded up. And basically the sampler, which is very basic sampler, will just choose one, basically. And I want to make that a little bit different as opposed to just an explosion. So again, it kind of contributes to the whole idea of the dynamic music. And here we go to the next one, which is, I just call it dynamic music and cello module. And basically there's 55 invaders on the screen. So every time you kill an invader, you're going to increase this counter. It's going to keep counting. As you can see, it's kind of going up and up and up. And it's going to raise the volume, the gain, in other words, the slider, up and up and up until you start to hear this music. So when you start the game, let's say new level, it's going to start at this low volume, which is 50. Every time you hit invader, it's going to go up. 53, 55, 57, etc. It's going to get louder and louder. So let's say game is on. You can barely hear the music. Kill a couple invaders, killing more and more and more. And you can see the volume gets louder. So let me stop this. So yeah, that's kind of another way to kind of build intensity. It's really basic level. The more invaders you kill, the louder it gets. This one's pretty cool. This one is the invader movement, and this one was a little bit of a challenge because of the way the invaders moved. They move left across the screen, but when they drop down by increments of 3. So I took all those increments, see 1,000, 997, 994, and etc. And basically I said every time it drops down by those increments, it's going to send out this message here, which is going to stop the sampler, basically. Well, it's not a sampler, it's a synthesizer. So every time it gets that change in the invader movement, it's going to play it. So kind of as an example, you can see here, the 1 is going to set it off, and the 0 is going to stop it. So when there's a change, it starts, and when it hits this number, when the invader settles into where it's going to stay, you get the 0 message. And yeah, this one it's kind of cool. It's basically just see if I can bring this up a little bit. It's basically just a synth that's being modulated by by some delays, and just messing around with the delay times, the frequencies. You can get a bunch of different sounds out of it. So I kind of like that little transformer kind of sound. And yeah, there we go. Next one, missile on and off. Very simple, just another synth. Has a very simple envelope, very specific sound and frequency. It's basically when you hit the fire key, and then when the missile actually hit something. Invader footsteps, also very simple. Every time they move their little legs, it just makes a sound. And they move faster towards the end once you start killing more of them, and it gets a little faster. Also very simple. And then lastly, we have the player death, just a sound design, a little explosion kind of synth thing that I threw together in Logic. And that's basically it. The project was very challenging, but very fun at the same time. It was cool being able to, take an old school game like Space Invaders, but then also just kind of build it from scratch and build it the way you would imagine. And there's so many different approaches, and so many different students had different approaches to building their own audio engine. And with my engine, I really wanted to reach that goal of creating some sort of dynamic music, and I think I really accomplished it with these different modules and implementing all the different sounds. And yeah, most of this I composed in Logic. I think I skipped over this rhythm section actually, which is what I was going to get to next. Is I composed all of these in Logic, which were basically just samples, just small loops. And one of the challenges was I was trying to get them all to come in at certain times or to synchronize as far as all their tempos are correct, and they all synchronize together, and they're not gonna get out of time if they're off by a certain amount of samples. So basically, when the game starts, I just tell all of these samples to just play at the same time. So I just have like a drum loop like this one, and little bass, synth, toms, and that's pretty much it as far as the music. And basically, when it goes to the next level, these three guys right here stop, and the toms continue playing between levels, if you notice that. And let's see. Yeah, so it was very easy, probably not efficient, probably not something they do in audio engines that are more advanced by today's standards. They would probably be triggered by events, or you in middleware like Wise, you can synchronize to beats, and that's one of the advantages of something such as middleware. And let's see, we got player lives, which is also just another sample. Every time you get a change right here, which is in the live, so when you get a third live or whatever, it'll just play that sample that just played. And there we go. That is my audio engine for Space Invaders. Feel free to contact me, and I hope you enjoyed it.